Hey guys, this is Blair with the Taylor team, and I've got Josh Perry here, local home inspector. Today we're going to talk about just some general questions around home inspections. So, Josh, tell me, how long does the inspection process take?
Usual inspection for an average house would be typically around 2 hours, depending on the condition of the home.
Okay.
But an average inspection takes about 2 hours.
About 2 hours, okay. And then, so what's the typical cost for a home inspection?
So a cost on a home inspection is usually based on the square footage, the age, if there's additional buildings. But a typical 3-bedroom, 2-bath spec home will typically be around $300.
Okay, it'd be like 200 square feet, something like
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
Okay,
that'd be fine.
so just kind of your average size.
Average is $300, yeah.
Okay. And so, what issues come up the most during an inspection?
So typically during an inspection, you get people would see stress cracks on their brick veneer,
Okay.
and that would make them nervous.
Okay.
Sometimes people, a lot of times you would get on a typical inspection is doors and windows aren't sealed properly on the exterior.
Okay.
And then a lot of being in Northwest Arkansas, a lot of drainage concerns,
Right.
whether it's a house without gutters or something. So, yeah.
You get as far as I know we get. It seems like we see a lot, but your hail damage on the roofs and stuff like that. Is that something you run into? Like, what percentage of the time you think?
We run into it quite often.
Yeah.
It is Northwest Arkansas,
Yeah.
so you never know with the storms we have. And I would say probably about 20% of the time there'll be a roof with hail damage on it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I gotcha. Yeah, it seems like for me it feels like we're doing like every other transaction.
Yeah, every other roof. Yeah.
But it's really not quite that much.
Yeah.
So what items are checked out during the home inspection process?
So a home inspection covers everything from what I call inside the building envelope. So everything starting from the roof down. You have your roof,
Okay.
your structure, your electrical, your plumbing, your HVAC, your interior doors and windows, all your kitchen appliances. So basically everything inside that building envelope is covered in a home inspection.
Gotcha. And then, so what happens if there's problems found like during the inspection?
So whenever a problem is found, I'll just take a picture of it.
Mm-hmm.
I'll note it in your report,
Okay.
and just kind of recommend whether or not it needs further evaluation from that specific trade, or if it's something that's just cosmetic or something like that.
Gotcha. And if there is something that's not terrible but needs work, is that something like you have people you can refer to them if they
Oh,
need?
yeah.
Okay.
So typically, if somebody calls me and says, "Hey, who can you have do these punch list items?" I'll point them in the right direction. Or if they need a roofer or something of that nature, or any other trade, I can kind of tell them a good one to call. But usually, if it's something minor, you can just say, "Okay, well, it's up to you guys if you want to live with it or not." Yeah. So.
And I guess that's a big part of it. Isn't about fixing everything. It's
Right.
knowing what the issues are.
Right.
Right. So is anybody else required to be at the home inspection?
No one's required to be at the home inspection. A lot of times, if they're a first-time home buyer, they like to be there for
Right.
a long proportion of it. Most of the time, we prefer people to show up at the end for a summary.
Mhm.
So if it's a 2-hour inspection or whatnot, you show up an hour and a half, 2 hours into it. I can kind of walk you around and go over everything I've found.
Right.
But as far as being required, typically the agent will show up for a summary and the buyers will show up for a summary.
Do you love it when the sellers stay there for the home inspection?
It's usually not recommended, but it happens. And if it's somebody that's really proud of their house, it makes it a little difficult.
Yeah, right.
They'll fall around, ask me why I'm taking pictures. So
It's always fun.
yeah.
That's normally the biggest complaint that I'll get from home inspectors. Like,
Yeah.
if you sell, I got to look over my shoulder.
Or a seller that one time told me that her son built her house, so there's nothing wrong with her house. And every time I took a picture, she's like, "My son installed that. You don't have to worry about it." I said, "Well, you have a good son, I guess."
That's great. Well, good. Well, Josh, thank you very much.
Oh, you're welcome.
And guys, hopefully we've answered your questions around the home inspection process and the details of that. If you got any more questions, you can email us the information below, or feel free to give us a call. Love to answer your questions. Hope you have a great day.